Sorry, we had a bad connection. I apologize for that. Um, I'm going over how I actually became a top fighter, or the reason was because I wanted to be able to take care of my family with the income that I earned from karate. I had no idea that it wasn't enough. But at the time, I believed that if anybody was on television, they must have been rich. And rich didn't mean just a payday. That meant forever. Now, I was 16 years old, started fighting black belt men. 17 years old, I got rated by Karate Illustrated, Region 11. I won my first grand champion, April 23rd, 1983. And my last grand champion was just a few weeks ago. So you figure 1983, we're looking at 33 years. 33 years in time frame between grand champions. And I'm not finished. At age 50, I'm looking at leading by example to show you guys that it's more than possible. And a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. You got better skills today than when you were younger, but you don't have a platform to actually go exercise it. But I promise you, if you fight in the 5th and above division, heavyweight, I'm in shape. I'll give you the challenge that you need. I'm looking to take things to the next level, just like you. And hopefully I inspire people to do that because it's a lot of fun and it keeps you young. You know, when your heart starts pumping and you get all enthusiastic about being able to compete to see if you can win. And I've had a tendency of being able to do that pretty consistent because of my mindset. It starts off with that. And then, actually, I do exercises that most people just don't do. The majority of the exercises that I do when training in martial arts are for physical therapy, or I should say come from physical therapy, because I got injured a few times when I was younger, and I came up with ways to actually still work out safely. Playing around with the filters over here because I want to make this into an interactive thing. If you guys have any questions, please post them here. If not, I shall continue. Keeping it black and white because I'm old school. Anyway, so someone asked me, what was my most feared opponent? Who was my most feared opponent? Well, I would have to say Billy Blanks. Fighting Billy Blanks was scary, man. That guy was just huge. His arms were phenomenal. His legs were phenomenal. And he could hit you with just about any bunch of techniques. And do it with power. Like I said, he broke my jaw, which was the best thing that ever happened to me, in the middle of a match in Madison Square Garden. But it was on ESPN. It was in the nighttime finals, and I was the middleweight champion at the time. Don't know why I was fighting the heavyweight. Well, because if they would have put anybody else, I would have took them out. Chances are. That could be me. Now, the Fast Feet nickname was given to me by my mother, and it was really Fearless Fast Feet. And I portrayed that, and I still do that at times now. The characters that you either love or you hate, you usually don't have mixed emotions about them. And, it's been pretty successful. A lot of people have been duplicating it or copying it throughout the years, and all I did was I copied Rest in Peace Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, Gorgeous George, Superstar Billy Graham, and all those other people that we looked up to, or at least I looked up to, that sometimes were good guys and sometimes were villains in people's minds. I opened up my first karate school in a Head Start at age 16, thanks to Henry Jackson, Mickey. And we have students that are still around right now, like Toby, Great Wolf himself, and Lisa Santana, and also Frankie Lopez, and a whole bunch of other people. And they were, young kids, and going to tournaments and beating a whole bunch of people that had a lot more experience than us. And I completely believe that in order for you to achieve your lifetime dreams and goals, you got to set humongous, life-changing goals. And most people set little goals and then they hit them. My goal was to become a world champion, and I had a chance to do that. And my most memorable trip was going to the Golden Dragon Cup in Italy, because there were 7,500 plus spectators there, and the place was phenomenal. Kevin Broughton was there, and a whole bunch of other world champions. It's when the USSR disbanded, and we had people literally from all over the world there competing, and it was just wonderful. I took second place in my division because I had a pulled hamstring, and Tony Top Gun Morrison actually took first place in his division. Rest in peace to Jeff Iannuso, who did phenomenal. And we signed autographs until our fingers literally could not freaking move. And that was phenomenal. We also went over back in 1994, I believe, to do a seminar in England. Thanks to Barry Sweeney, we set up something over there with Dangerous. I always get it confused. Dangerous Dick. Robert Hopkins. Anyhow, and the first Walker World Championships I competed in, and the only one, was in 1993. Took third place officially. Gotta say it like that because it was kind of interesting the way the things stacked up. Now, the last time I competed was literally this year. Why this year? Because I want to lead by example. I want people to see that it's more than possible that you can achieve techniques or accomplishments and new techniques that you maybe have never done before. So I haven't really seen the standards risen from 50 and above. I did see that pretty good by Kevin Thompson in his 40s. He did that phenomenal. But I want to inspire other people from our generation, the guys who were top fighters in the 80s and the 90s, to come out and just play a little game of Kia. Yes, I will be calling some of you guys out, challenging you, because I think that the leadership, or I should say our village, our industry, needs to see the pioneers and legends leading by example, not just being old player haters. Running a karate school was not an easy task, but I was able to become pretty successful at it because I followed the formula of the people who actually were successful at it, not my broke friends who were giving me strategies because they were still living with their mother. Not by choice, but because by necessity. And people often ask me, how is it to keep myself motivated? Well, I'm a big-time reader and a writer, meaning I set goals and I have a plan. And I have a success coach, at least imaginary ones. I won the Tony Robbins Mr. Mastery course back in 1992, and the reason I did that was because I wanted to learn techniques of the greatest of the great in business. Now in martial arts, I get a chance to interact with guys like Master Joe Corley and Mr. Jeff Smith and a whole bunch of other people who are the leaders when it comes to revolutionizing the industry from a business standpoint. And once in a while, they even listen to my ideas, which is kind of cool. So you can go from a top competitor to a top school owner, and then I became a manufacturer. That's the announcement coming soon, guys. There may be a possibility within the next few weeks that you may get a chance to wear some of these things that you haven't seen in 5 years. Stay tuned. Anyhow, you can reinvent yourself, and I suggest that you do that because times have changed, and the only thing that hasn't changed is that people still need motivation. So when I ran my martial arts schools, and my students still do now, it was based on life skills. You know, people thought I was the crazy uncle. Yeah, the crazy uncle, that's what I was. You know, leading by example has always been key, so I always demonstrated the techniques, and doing the full split was one thing that was kind of cool. I know a lot of people are anti that, because the hips have gotten messed up, but I think the hips got messed up because of other things, not just the split. I never bounced. I did mostly horse stance. I never threw a lot of kicks in the air or on the back, but I did my lay-down kicks. Some of you have seen that before. The reason I like the lay-down kick so much is because it doesn't jeopardize what would be injuring your knee or your hip. All it does, it works on increasing the strength and flexibility in the muscles that support the hips, meaning the upper thighs and the obliques. Yeah, and the obliques. So, alternative ways to training is the reason why I did it, because I noticed that a lot of people in martial arts were getting hip replacements and knee injuries and back problems, and I'm like, I'm a chicken when it comes to that. I did not want to have those results, so I had to change approach, and the approach that I changed was by looking at the physical therapy that they were doing to these guys or girls after they got injured. So most of my stretching and kicking and a lot of the techniques that I do, or both of them, 80% of them, are from physical therapy based on me watching what people did after they got injured. Staying motivated is the key, and it's kind of difficult to be motivated when you're broke. But if you're not motivated, you're going to stay broke. And what I mean by that is that income is something that's very important, as you guys know, especially the women. They keep it real. You know, some guys have this thing on the side called a chick. But the chick on the side is their karate school. They work a full-time job and they pay for their karate school on the side. And that's kind of crazy, especially when today you have real information where you can make your school any way you want. If you don't want to teach children, you don't have to. If you want to teach adults only, you can do it. If you want to teach jiu-jitsu, you want to have after school, man, there's so many different ways to do that. But when it comes down to it, you have to make a decision how you want your school to be. Now, when it comes to just keeping yourself young, nutrition is the key, guys. Supplementation is the key, because today, if you go to a supermarket, it's kind of difficult to come out with grapes or even a watermelon, because those things today have genetically modified. They've been genetically modified, GMO. So you're pretty much eating just a clone. And it's bad enough that you didn't have too many nutritional value with the original watermelon and grape. Now you have even less. Energy level staying high. Music is one of the keys. I love music. Dancing, of course, is one of the ways to exercise without having to actually put yourself to a so-called official workout. So it's the little extra je ne sais quoi, So I put on the music and I dance, and that's one of the ways I do my cardio. My next tournament is going to be probably the U.S. Open, if not that, shortly after that. And it's all really based on, some logistics. I have 4 children. I want to make sure that I'm able to be with them as much as possible this summer. But I'm also going to be streaming a lot of these, but live workouts. And if at any point you guys have questions for me, whether it's stretching, kicking, or business, or motivation, or even dancing, I don't care. I'm here to help. I have an addiction, I should say, to helping people. That's always been my passion. And Facebook Live to me is one of the coolest things. And the reason I say that is because Facebook Live gives me an opportunity to share some information with people from all over the world. And if for some reason, they listen, great. If they don't, well, that's on you. Or as I would say, hayatu. And hayatu really comes down to, hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh, okay, I flipped it. Yeah. So guys, as you can see, I'm at Starbucks in New York City, and I just made a boo-boo, just learned something, and actually flipped the camera. Ha. And it seems like I'm frozen right now. Frozen and suspended in cyber world. So, Grandmaster Jerry Fastly Fontanes, as known by many, who developed his own style in martial arts, started martial arts in 1974, went to my first school in 1976, that was a so-called professional school. It says my connection is weak, so I may get disconnected. Hopefully I answered some of you guys' questions, gave you a little history, and I wish you the best. God bless, best wishes, AB, see ya. Stay tuned for announcements based on some apparel that will be coming possibly sooner than what people think. In the meantime, God bless. AB, see ya. I'm out of here. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, hi from Tampa at Master G. So we had a few people that were on here. I didn't even realize I had the things, all wrong. And I really, 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 really appreciate it. That you guys even spend your time watching me, What can I leave you guys with? What would you attempt, guys, if you knew it was impossible to fail? What will you try if you knew it was impossible to fail? Me, I want to earn 5 figures a week. That's my goal. And I do have a vehicle where someone, and a lot of people actually are doing it already. Why I want to do that? Because it gives you options. Income gives you options. And I have 4 children at home, 5 in total with 2 grandchildren. So I want to see my great-grandchildren, so I need to stay alive. So I help people get their stomach flat and their pockets fat. Because most people have the opposite. They got their belly flat and their pockets, belly's fat, pockets flat. Getting kind of late. I'm out of here. I was here. I appreciate you guys, and hopefully you guys can put some of the posts too. I would love to hear some information about you. I will promise you this. I'm going to be doing a lot more competing to show people exactly the possibility of being 50, meaning having 50 years of experience in life. And I'm looking forward to a lot more numbers than that. God bless. AB. See you at the tippity top. And you don't stop. Live from New York, it was Fast Feet.